like we work with an excellent group who work with people who have disabilities in sport, getting them involved in sport. So there's things you can do like blind soccer, wheelchair basketball, tandem cycling. During the summer now there's going to be a surf camp for children with autism, so they'll need a lot of volunteers for that, and it's always supposed to be great fun. There's just a wide variety.
Here, so that he cannot move in here. When you see that, you should be down here. Come on.
Everyone knows how the GAA and so many other sports are hugely dependent on volunteers, but there's a growing awareness now of other sports needing help.
More recently, I suppose what has emerged is the amount of volunteering in sport that has contributed to community sport, where people that might normally take part in sport are enabled by people giving up their time. And in the Sport and Recreation Partnership, where our role is about getting those who are least active and those who wouldn't normally take part in sport, we are highly dependent on volunteers to happen.
Look, volunteers are essential just to keep our numbers up and to keep a challenge for the various disabled people that come along every week to play basketball. And you know, the volunteers also can help put chairs away, and it just generally makes the whole sporting event move faster.
We had a great example last weekend where we had over 2,000 cyclists in Sligo for the Sport Ireland Yates Tour Sligo, and that was driven completely and supported by a team out on the roads, marshalling, administrating, and food stops, and it just couldn't happen without them.
And the same can be said of other community needs. Without volunteers, the village of Coolani wouldn't have a cafe.
We had a village here in Coolani with a large population increase, and we realised there was nowhere for the community to meet and to integrate and for people to get to know one another. So we hit on the idea of a co-op cafe, which would be owned and operated by the community, and what it would do is it would serve beautiful cakes and homemade soup and bread and fresh brewed coffee to the people here in Coolani, and at the same time we would be generating revenue and economy locally here, and at the same time give people a chance, the community, to come together, meet, children to get to know one another, for people living alone. Has helped to bring the community of Coolani together in a social way.
So we pop up and pop down, we're not open all the time. We do either shifts of 4 hours or shifts of a full day. And we just put it out to the community via Facebook, via posters, that we're looking for volunteers. And so far we're very lucky that we have fantastic suppliers that do all the baking locally for us as well. So everything is home cooked in the village of Coolani.
Identify sparks people into action. In Banada, it was the need for housing for older people that got the community going 20 years ago, and they haven't stopped since. A museum, a rural transport system, and Meals on Wheels, as well as sheltered housing, and they've also created local employment along the way.
It's a lot of work, but it's all taken in our stride, and we have a lot of good people working with us, and without them we wouldn't be able to do it, you know. On the other end, when they're there and willing to work, well, that means everything in a community.
Hello, Bridie. How are you, Betty?
Fine, thank you.
Good girl. I have your dinner here for you.
Oh, very good.
I'll leave it out here on the table.
Yes.
All right. Good
that's
girl.
fine. Oh, it's very good. We have every convenience now that it can produce for us. It is very kind and a nice crowd. Only we want more men.
There's not enough men, is there not?
What's that last question?
Are there not enough men?
No.
No.
We're very choosy, you know.
So you have.
We're delivering about 22 dinners. I do the Tubbercurry area, and Brendan does the country area of Clare, Coolani, and we have some of them every day, and then other days we have people that would only have dinners 3 days a week. Hanging curtains, as well as delivering dinners, we ask you to hang curtains or do anything, shopping, anything. And we're driving about 2.5 hours each.
People around here want to help each other in the way that they do.
Well, people were always like that, but they didn't have the facilities and they didn't. Would you see? And what's more, there's that little bit of money needed to trigger action, and you just be more than helpful with us in Banada and in here, you know, and we appreciate that, because without them we wouldn't be half the way that we are today, you know.
From Meals on Wheels in Banada to a barbecue by the multicultural group of people involved in film, music and dance, performing at events like the Flower or in nursing homes and other venues.
Made that our thing now, to be touring every end of year with our act, music and dance and performance. To
Voluntary?
Yes, it's all voluntary. We're not paid for this.
So why do you do it?
Well, personally, I really love dance. I love a party. I love to party. And because we're doing it with loads of people who live in direct provision, so they too connect with the community. It's a channel.
You know, so it gets people, the Sligo community, to know lots of people from all around the world, and the thing about it is that it really works because people who have since got their papers have stayed in Sligo. Most people from Sabona who have their papers have stayed. So there's really like a community built around it.
Community is at the heart of volunteering, certainly in Strandhill, where a call for funding for locals literally get their act together.
One of our parents, Tanya Kelly, came up with the idea, but we learned very fast. So we've been living, breathing, sleeping the last 6-7 months, and it's times like these when you realise that everybody was willing to get up there to sponsor people or to actually perform themselves. Strandhill School is on its second. So there are grants and so on. There is of course cost to be covered, and we had an amazing night and we really did so well. Pat on the
I think it's extremely important, because at the end of the day it's for the kids, and that's why we do this. You know, we want our kids to have, you know, money is tight everywhere really, so I mean we can't really depend on, you know, government grants and so on, so it is vital that the community does value into somewhere like a primary school, because this will be the big benefit for generations to come.
But volunteering also, from helping them to get jobs to making new friends.
I know the town is looking good, but it's our duty and our delight to make.
Well, it's fantastic. I mean, it gets you out of the house, it gets you doing something for your local community, and you feel so. The people that you meet people that you've never met before. All volunteers are lovely people, because if they were good people, there wouldn't be volunteers in the first place. So I always enjoy events like this.
Well, I started really for the flare because I love the flare so much, and we had, myself and Celine did litter picking mostly for the flare, and we enjoyed that. Then I'm doing Enable Ireland, so I do 2 mornings a week in Enable Ireland, mostly upstairs, checking the clothes and hanging them and that sort of thing.
It's great crack. It's great working with different parts of the town. We have a great community here in Sligo, and I'm relatively new to the town, but my history goes back a long way, and it's great to be able to give something back. And I love the variety of tasks and opportunities available within the volunteering arena.
Thanks very much for coming along to our second Volunteer Voices event. It's volunteering as a pathway to employment.
and I guess some of you are probably on that journey. I think at the end of the year, one thing that we're really hoping will make a difference and continue is our partnerships with businesses and charities. So we've run an Adopt a Charity campaign, which was about getting local businesses matched up on a skills level, so not just about giving money, but about an opportunity to share those skills with community groups. So that has taken off, and we would also hope that volunteering will be valued a little policies and structures and things at a national level that will support the sector.
And there you have just a small sample of the amazing voluntary work that takes place not just here in Sligo town, but throughout the county as well. We're going to take a break now, but when we return, we'll be moving south, where a major fundraising effort is underway to raise money for, above all things, a helicopter.
I'll be delighted to serve everyone at Schweppes, but sadly, there are people who are not ready, whom we call amateurs. Those who disclose their PIN number to their girlfriend.
5757.
Ooh. They're incapable of appreciating the unique taste of Schweppes.
The future of driving is closer than you think. Present. With technology upgrades, 0% PCP finance and deposit contributions of up to €2,000.
Inside this tin is promise and thrill, 200 years of wisdom and skill. Homes revived and dreams conceived, freedom to paint and breathe with ease. Inside this tin is fashion for walls, chic for kitchens, couture for halls. What's in this tin, whether light or dark, is made for you to make your mark. It's more than cream or green or blue. Inside this tin are shades of you.
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think and hold it tight. So happy to
travel to Britain from just €89 one way for a car and driver. Irish Ferries. Travel together.
Get comfortable investing with Irish Life Maps, starting with 3 clear and easy steps. First, get your investor profile matched to the fund for you, then see your expected range of returns. Start your journey online today, or ask your financial broker or advisor about Irish Life Maps. We know Irish Life. We are Irish Life.
We're recognising the value of volunteering. Right throughout Ireland, there are thousands of organisations founded by and operated by a whole range of social clubs and groups. Everyone's familiar with the larger ones, such as the GAA and the Special Olympics. These organisations simply could not operate. There's the St Vincent de Paul, the Civil Defence, St John's Ambulance and organisations like valuable service to society. Ceoltas Ceoltóirí Éireann promotes Irish traditional music and dance, and through it that love of the music is developed. Events, including the massive Fleadh Cheoil, would be impossible without a huge rely completely on volunteering, cleaning streets and gathering litter, planting flowers and weeding beds, mowing lawns and maintaining areas in our communities. The reality is, without the support, this country would be a lot duller, with a lot less being achieved. Volunteers. Their mission is to promote the value of volunteering and to increase the range and quality of volunteering in Ireland. Their website provides information on There's also lots of information on the site about becoming a volunteer. Volunteering can be hard work, but it's also fun, and society at large is the main beneficiary. That unfortunately people living in rural areas experience delays in receiving critical care following an accident, and that these delays a major voluntary fundraising drive to try to do something about this issue. The Irish Community Rapid Response Service was correct medical skills at the right time. The next stage now, after 10 years in operation, is to provide a helicopter staffed by a team of trained trauma doctors. Helen McInerney has the story.
Time is critical in an emergency situation. The aptly named golden hour following an accident is seen as crucial in deciding the outcome for the injured person.
Donald, don't worry about a bit, we're here to look after you.
A delay in receiving, and for people who live in rural Ireland, this is a particular worry. For Anne Kelly, a quick response by a doctor was crucial when she was involved in a car accident in West Cork 7 years ago.
Back in May in 2010, I was travelling from Cork City home to West Cork after work, and I was involved in a car accident. And I suppose it was only what the Gardaí and the hospital told me later on, but the West Cork Rapid Response volunteer doctor came, Dr. Jason, and he was able to help me because it took them apparently an hour and a half to cut me out of the car. So Dr. Jason was there and was able to look after me. In the ambulance with me to CUH then once they extricated me or got me out of the car.
Dr. Jason is a volunteer working with West Cork Rapid Response. They're a voluntary group working with the existing emergency services.
If Dr. Jason hadn't been at the scene of the accident, I probably wouldn't be alive today. You know, he quite literally, you know, between the drugs he was able to administer and the care I got, I wouldn't be alive today if a doctor hadn't been at the scene of the accident.
The team behind the West Cork Rapid Response are now developing the Irish Community Air Ambulance.
For the last 9 years, we've been operating doctors delivering intensive care treatment to communities throughout the country while volunteering for these events. So what the Irish Community Air Ambulance is the next stage of that, making this volunteer part-time service permanent in relation to having a helicopter as a mode of transport and having a mobile intensive care unit on that helicopter. We have fantastic service provided by the National Ambulance Service in Athlone, and the Coast Guards provide a fantastic service throughout the coast of Ireland. Doctor-led service that complements the existing services that we run currently.
This new helicopter emergency service will provide life-saving air support for the south of Ireland.
We have specialist equipment in it that is only used in the emergency department. We have a clinician on board and an advanced paramedic that would bring a very high level of care to the roadside, to the farmyard, to the school, wherever it's needed. And the difference is that intervention makes a difference between life and death, because it's not a case, the journey sometimes the patient will not survive, but if we bring the treatment and stabilise the patient, that makes a difference so a patient can travel to the centre of excellence. But the helicopter, what's the greatest thing about it, is that it can take you to the relevant hospital that's to your needs, whether it's cardiac, whether it's trauma, whatever, you know what I mean? That's what that does.
I'm a doctor working within the HSE, but I'm a volunteer doctor that responds to emergency situations in the Cork City area currently as a first responder. I always wanted to be an emergency doctor or pre-hospital care doctor. After a number of years of investing a lot of hard work and time, I started working with civil defence as a volunteer, and then as a volunteer with the first responders in the Cork City area. And here I am today now as a doctor with the service. This is first of its kind here in Ireland, with a helicopter service with physicians on board. I've been across to the UK with London Hems, and I've seen how they've done things, and we are very fortunate in the fact that we've had individuals down through the years working here in Ireland who are passionate about pre-hospital care, and they can bring a wealth of knowledge to it. And so this service is all about getting the right person to the right casualty in the right mode of transport, and then making the right decisions from there.
Dr. Lynch believes it's important to have both a paramedic and a doctor on board.
Our colleagues who are advanced paramedics might not be able to do or not comfortable to do alone, such as managing an airway in a very difficult situation, or the administration of certain drugs that's not within their scope of work. And so that's one of the benefits of having a doctor there. But it's also great to have somebody just next to you in a situation that comfort, feel that things are going to be okay, or that you have somebody to bounce things off. So as physicians and APs, we work very closely. We have different skills that we can bring to the game.
The eventual cost of running the service will be over $2 million a year, but they're in to get the service up and running this year.
This helicopter services approximately 1.1 million people in the Munster and South Leinster region. So if everyone in Munster gave €2, do you know what I mean, it'll be up and running every year. So, but at the same time, we need every community group to do their part. We are all volunteers, and we really want every community in town within the region to come in and support this.
In a bid to raise their profile and the necessary funds to put the helicopter in place, the team behind it have been visiting various locations around Ireland, including this primary school in Ballymurn in County Wexford.
We need ambassadors, we need coffee mornings, we need cake runs, we need 5Ks, running events to make this happen. And this is a life-saving service, and this will make a difference to every one of us within this region without question.
I know Irish people are very generous, but do you think they've been asked to support so much?
I agree totally, and that's where when we get resources, we might need to maximise it the best we can. So we're looking at this as it was a commercial business, even though it's a social commercial business. We need this run so efficiently and tightly, so that when we get the resources from people, we make the most out of it to get the bang for their buck. And we get this service in the air and make it attainable to everyone, whether rich or poor.
And for further information on the Community Air Ambulance, go to the website, which is on your screens now. And so we've come to the end of this evening's programme. Thanks indeed for watching. We're back again on Wednesday with more stories from around the country. But in the meantime, from all of us on the Nationwide team in Sligo, good evening. On next Wednesday's Ireland's newest tourist attractions, and it's expected to draw visitors from near and far. Mary steps out on foot on the Waterford Greenway.
Will a wetsuit have the